Right, Ashley, I'm going to assume that UCLA probably isn't too far away from your front door back home. What was your reaction back home from family and friends when they found out this matchup was going to happen? Or is anyone rooting against you tomorrow night?
From my knowledge, no, nobody's rooting against me. But it was something that was kind of a big deal, just because that is like 45 minutes from home. It's one of those places where you grew up watching. I used to go to games. I've been to camps, so it's definitely like a full circle type of moment. And then definitely playing against Charisma Osborne too, because she went to Windward, and like Windward and Sierra Canyon, where I went, is a big rivalry. So it's gonna be exciting playing against her again, and getting that moment in college.
Y'all talked at all since Monday night? Or are you waiting until the actual game to speak about it?
Yeah, it's probably gonna be after the game. We're not really, you know, we're enemies until the clock runs out, and then we'll be cool again.
Now, obviously, you're just adjusting to what the Texas experience is like. But I'm curious, is it possible to feel like an underdog at Texas? You guys are seated lower than UCLA, but you're also still at the same time Texas. Do you guys feel like an underdog, or do you guys feel like this game is yours to take?
We come into every game knowing that people are going to come and give us their best game. Coach always says that what's across our chest is going to ensure that people are going to come for us, and we have a target on our back. So we don't ever really go into a game feeling like we're the underdogs, because we just know that because of what people have done in the past and the history at Texas, that people want to beat Texas.
Anybody else have questions for Ashley?
Ashley, now that you're fully into it, how has this freshman year been like for you? This is a strange year. Being a freshman, as it was hard, but yeah, the pandemic, I'm assuming, unlike the other freshmen on your team, your parents haven't been able to come see you because they're across the country. You can't go home on the weekend or whatever. This coaching staff is not the coaching staff you committed to or signed with. But just how has this adjustment period been like for you this season?
I mean, like everything you just said has definitely had been a factor in making this year so hard. But it's really about just taking it a day at a time. And moving on from yesterday. It's always got to be a new day. You have to look at everything as a fresh start. But it definitely has been a difficult year, but it's really just about perseverance, and I try to just be strong and continue to do what I know I can do.
Kyra always says, or has been saying recently, that the freshmen aren't freshmen anymore. The sophomores aren't sophomores. You all have experience now. Do you feel that true? Do you feel like a freshman still, or do you feel that, hey, you're kind of a vet at this point of the season?
Um, I've always felt that at this point of the season, you got to step your game up and you have to elevate. Everybody has to elevate so you can go far in postseason. So I have always grown up hearing that phrase from my own parents. So I'm definitely in the mindset that I have to take on more now. Especially in the past couple games, there has been like put a lot of things put on my plate that I haven't had, and other games. So it's been just something that I had to take on the chin and keep rolling. And I just been trying to take it and make those adjustments.
Riley, go ahead.
Yeah, Ashley, I mean, how has the game prep been for this UCLA game, considering you guys had exactly a week to prepare for Bradley, and then it'll just be about a day and a half of game prep before UCLA?
Yeah, no, it's definitely different for us, considering that we get into each scout very deep, and we try to know everything that we can know. So really it's really a lot more put on us as players to get into our scouts and look at plays that we weren't able to go over in practices and things like that. But in terms of the preparation, it's not much different because we're gonna keep working every day. Well, the one day that we had, but it's today. Coach was saying that it's about fundamentals at this point, and we know we have those fundamentals, so we just have to do what we know we can.
Back over to you for the last one, Danny.
Yeah, Ashley, what have you learned this year from Deanna, Coach Jackson Durrett? What has she been able to teach you? Obviously, she had a pretty good run as a point guard herself. What has she been able to install in you this year?
She's been teaching me a lot of things. I would say the biggest thing for me is that being able to speak and communicate to her my struggles and what I need to do and really just soak in everything that I can so I can be a better point guard and just sitting there on the sidelines during practice just taking in everything she has to say to me and seeing what she sees. So it's really been a good thing to get my IQ up has been the biggest thing.
Well, thanks for everybody for being on today. Just really proud of my team, excited for them, happy for them, knowing how hard they've worked, and just to have the opportunity to play tomorrow night against obviously a really good UCLA team. We're certainly pleased that we were able to get a win last night over a conference champion in Bradley. But I really was excited about how we played coming out of the gate. Again, got some great quality minutes from Ashley off the bench, who's had some good games for us down the stretch and just provides us a different look offensively and defensively. She's always been pretty solid most of the year. So it's nice sometimes to have two point guards out there, or at least two players out there that have that type of mindset. But Charlie was special, obviously 23 and 15. And then Audrey had a pretty good night too, 7 rebounds, 6 offensive, 19 points. Celeste was involved in every stat, from points to rebounds to steals to assists. Joe didn't have a turnover. Kyra didn't have a turnover. Ashley had 4 assists, no turnovers. So we only had 10 on the night, which is good. And again, 4 players in double figures. So we were pretty balanced. I think the big thing was our fourth quarter. I think we shot 26% in the fourth quarter. We don't shoot so poorly then. And, we had a chance to have a decent number percentage wise, but 26% in the fourth quarter brought us down to 39 for the game. So in any case, like I said, I'm really happy for our kids. I'm proud of them. Excited about the opportunity tomorrow night. We're going to have to play really well, but I think we have played well here of late down the stretch, and that's what's exciting.
Danny, you can start us off.
Vic, what are your overall impressions of this UCLA team? Seems like a veteran squad, and led by Michaela, seems like a very special player. Just what are your impressions of this team?
Yeah, I got to coach her in the Pan American team 2 years ago when we went to Peru, and she's a great kid, works really hard, and obviously extremely skilled. So she's special. She's a tough matchup. We're going to have to do a great job guarding her and dealing with her. And she's got tremendous teammates. They've got size at every position. They're going to challenge us with that size. And, I think defensively, they get out and try to play a little bit like us. They're denying passes and pressuring the ball. And so offensively, we're going to have to really make some good decisions, passing the ball and taking care of the ball. So, they can present some problems for you if you don't handle it correctly and attack it right. So again, really, really good team. And, we're going to have to play well, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't really notice Celeste, her steal numbers, what they were until I think Texas, I'm assuming it was John, sent out a game note yesterday about how many 3 steal games she's had this season. So when you take what she's doing defensively, how do you balance that aggressiveness with also making sure that she doesn't get in foul trouble because y'all need her on the floor? Do you tell her to ever rein it back, or are you just letting her loose at this time of the season?
I have to remind myself all the time. I look at her and for some reason, I just, I have to really recognize she's just a sophomore, I mean, really. And, she does so many good things that, and then sometimes she might have a mistake or two. And I just, I expect her to, I coach her. I want her, sorry. I coach our team, we try to practice perfect, play perfect. And, with her, I just think I can, I think she can be great. I think she can be a really special player. I think she can be an all conference player in our league. And so I find myself really being demanding of her and, not wanting her to settle, not wanting her to accept anything, but trying to be perfect. And again, she lets me coach her, which it takes a special kid to do that. And so that's my thing with her. Sometimes I just have to really go, she is just a sophomore. And this is her first season with me and us and how we play. But obviously she's my kind of player, my kind of great kid. I'm so excited for her. Dad's here, being able to watch her play. It's always a neat deal. And so, do I want her in foul trouble? Absolutely not. Do I tell her to rein it back? No. Do I tell her, hey, we need to be smart and you can't help me win if you're over there sitting next to me? Yeah, I do tell her that.
Have your out-of-state players, Celeste, I guess Audrey kind of is in the middle there, Ashley, Charisma, have their families been able to see many of their games this year, or they've been pretty much all long distance?
Yeah, Charisma's family actually has family in South Texas. So her mom, I think, has been up a few more times than say, and Ashley, whose mom and dad both have come in at separate times, but haven't seen her in person a lot. I think this is the first time Celeste's dad has been able to, well, no, they saw us in West Virginia. Him and his wife saw her, but he came down, I think, by himself. She's got a baby sister that's plays volleyball, so I'm sure mom had to stay back for her. But it is hard. Audrey's dad did not get to see us in Fort Worth, but her mom did. And so, in any case, it's hard, and mainly it's just because I'm sure of the pandemic. I mean, it's just really challenging just to travel and get out. So again, I'm so excited for Celeste because her dad is here and he's able to see her in person. And, I know I can tell that's a special relationship. And I get that for sure, because I had the same thing with my own parents.
Riley, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Coach. I imagine, I know you and your coaching staff have been preparing for a potential second round opponent since the bracket came out on Monday. But how do you feel like the players have handled the quick turnaround, having a full week to prepare for Bradley, and then just about a day and a half to prepare for UCLA?
Yeah, so we had a good practice today, and obviously paid a lot of attention to what we're going to need to do with UCLA. And we'll get 40 minutes in the arena tomorrow, so we won't spend a lot of time on UCLA as much as we'll just spend shooting and getting used to the arena. That's a big, spacious arena, and depth perception is always going to be different in there. So we're going to make sure we get good and comfortable in there shooting the ball, and then we'll do what we did yesterday. We'll have a walkthrough in the ballroom. We've put some tape down on the carpet and made a basketball court, and so we'll go through some walkthrough stuff in there afterwards. But our kids are used to it now. They understand the importance of it. They understand it's important to me to have a shoot around day of game and to know what we're doing and how we're doing it. And ours typically is a little bit longer than some, but it's just what it is. And so, our kids have really come a long way, Riley, to be honest with you. And I'm really pleased with it.
We'll go Dennis and then back over to Danny.
Hey, Coach, after so many deep runs at your previous school, how different is this dynamic for you? I mean, are you almost playing with house money at this point with a young squad in your first year, that sort of deal?
Well, I think some people might look at it that way, Dennis, but man, I'm in it to win it, brother. I just, it's just the only way I know how to think, this is, as I've told the kid, this is why we do what we do in August and September out on the track at 6 a.m. This is why we practice so hard and I am so demanding. My staff is so demanding on and off the court. Because when you get to this opportunity, I mean, you don't want to miss an opportunity, whether it's the first game, the second game, the third game. I mean, there's 32 teams, going to be 32 teams left. Well, there was 32 now. The second round started today, but for me, hey, I have enough confidence in my own team. I think if we play well, we can play with anybody in the country. And obviously we'd have to play really well, but we've seen what really good is, this season. We've played them 3 times. We've played a lot of really good teams in our league, but obviously we played Baylor now 3 times in the last month. So we know what that looks like. And then you get an Iowa State that we had to deal with in the tournament. And so Oklahoma State, so for me, it's about, hey, we're here. We're paying rent. We might as well try to stay here as long as we can and win as many as we can. I mean, it's just how I'm built. It's just how we're built. And that's how I want our kids to look at it as well.
Thanks, Coach.
Back over to Danny, and then the last one to Riley.
Vic, I don't know if you saw the article or not, but there was an ESPN, speculation piece, and they listed Johnny and Deanna as both candidates for the Oklahoma job in their eyes. And I'm wondering, do you think this offseason your staff is going to get those looks and, you may be losing a couple of your coaches to head coaching jobs?
Well, they certainly deserve to be getting looks. My entire staff is, I call them the A team. They're the best. And, anybody would be lucky to get them and have them. So, in this profession, sometimes that happens. I haven't had to navigate that too many times. That's why I've been really fortunate. And that has to do a lot with our success, not having a lot of turnover with our staff. We've had a lot of continuity. And so that plays a big part in our success. But, that's something as a head coach, I want for them. If that's what they want, man, I'm going to be their biggest, I'm going to be their biggest supporter and biggest cheerleader. And I think I can sell them pretty good as well. And, that their body of work for all 3 of them speaks for itself in my mind.
Riley, last one to you.
Yeah, Coach, just one more for you. You talked a little bit about last night about how key the press has been for you guys this season. How key will it be to kind of slowing UCLA's offensive attack?
Yeah, it's just who we are, Riley. It's what we do and how we do it. So, I think our kids, quite frankly, if we don't do it, I'm not sure what their confidence level is. They might question me or wonder if I have, lost my mind if we don't get it, if we're not doing that. So, it's been really good to us. Again, we've led the conference in turnovers forced and turnover margin. And, you just don't do that standing around in a 2-3 zone. You got kids playing really hard and that's, that's what I'm proud of them for, is that they've really learned to embrace that. They understand it. We're becoming more physical and, that's something too, that you've got to be in this tournament. You better be physical, because it seems to me that in my experience, there's, they let you play. And so for me, that's how I like it. I mean, I want it that way, or at least my teams in the past have. And this team's got to learn to embrace that. So.
Thank you for your time, Coach.
All right. Praise the Lord and hook 'em.